So you want to look aesthetic? Well, you've come to the right place. Massive shoulders, a humongous back, and gargantuan calves? You can forget about that last one. Never happening, buddy. The term once used to describe soft vibes and fairy lights on Pinterest is now one of the biggest terms in the entire fitness community. So then, what does it mean to look aesthetic? The main factor that determines an aesthetic physique is what's called a V-taper. I'm sure you've probably heard this term thrown around quite a bit. To put it simply, a V-taper just means that your upper body roughly follows the shape of the letter V, which draws attention to some of the most prominent muscles on your body, these muscles being your chest, back, shoulders, and arms, creating a visual feeling of power, balance, and confidence. However, attaining this shape is much easier for some than others, and that just comes down to genetics. For example, person A may have a much easier time building muscle than person B. However, person A was born with narrow collarbones, and person B was born with very wide collarbones. Simply through this one genetic difference, many would agree that person B has a much more aesthetic physique, simply because they look more like the letter V. Sounds stupid, right? So then, is that it? You can't look aesthetic if you have narrow collarbones? Well, that's sort of up to you. Your bone structure will definitely determine the general shape of your physique, but if you're willing to put in the work, there's actually quite a bit you can do to help balance out your physique visually. Sticking with the narrow collarbone example, you could prioritize your shoulders in your workouts. Through building your delts, you'll build a much wider top to your body, thus making you look more like a V and less like a U. This simple change can completely transform the look of your physique. Don't get me wrong, your shoulders make a huge difference to your V-taper, but that doesn't mean you should neglect your other muscles. If all you care about is building width, then by all means, spam lateral raises to your heart's content. But if you want to build an aesthetic physique, you'll need balance. I suggest highly prioritizing your back muscles, specifically your lats, which actually have a natural V-taper without even working them at all, simply by the shape of the muscle. But building your lats will add a ton more width to your upper body. However, there's one more section of your upper body that can honestly make or break your V-taper, and that's your waist. Now, you may have been thinking that it's having a nice chiseled six-pack. And don't get me wrong, visible abs definitely help with looking aesthetic. But you see, as long as you have a V-taper, your body will look relatively aesthetic even on a bulk. But if you have a wide waist, regardless of how lean you are, this can destroy the illusion of a V-taper. And unfortunately, this is also widely genetic. Try to focus on the muscles that are going to help balance out the width of your upper body, such as your shoulders and your lats. By doing this, you can help counteract your wide waist. However, something that I've personally seen great results with is stomach vacuums. Now, I'll likely make a video on this in the future, but in essence, a stomach vacuum is the action of sucking in your stomach as much as possible, holding it for 20 to 30 seconds, and releasing. I'll spare you the details as to why this works, but the results can be game-changing if you stay consistent with it. And while stomach vacuums won't change your bone structure itself, they can help just that little bit more to help build that V-taper. But if you want to make your entire body look more aesthetic, consider getting leaner. What can I say? Muscles look cool. Why not show them off and enjoy seeing what you've built? So if you want to get leaner, I strongly suggest watching this video next, where I break down the process of cutting step by step. And don't worry, it's simple.